Mr. Kolawale, sorry, I don't know. The whole thing just I lost connection and the whole thing just went up.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here with you, sir.
Ah, okay.
I think my
Maybe we
network
should
is
just
fast today.
yes. Let's just maybe we should just go on our 4 o'clock break now and get back by 4:20.
Is okay? Is okay? 4:20, right?
4:20, yes.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Hello, Mr. Kolawale.
Yes, I'm here.
Sorry, I think I missed in between. Are we to
Yes,
reconvene? Are we taking a
yes.
break now to reconvene?
We are taking a break now to reconvene by 4:20, sir.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. Try and get yourself a tea and enjoy yourself before we continue again.
Okay, we've closed for now, right?
Yes, I learned we are reconvening by 4:20.
Okay, sir.
Hello. People are not back yet.
Hello. Are we back?
Yes, I'm back. I've been waiting.
I'm here with you, sir.
All right. It's like you're the only one. Mr. Jalil is not here, kind of.
I am here.
I was calling your name.
Oh, really? I'm here. I'm here.
All right. So we have about an hour left to go. Okay. I think the last thing we were discussing then was about quality. So it was Mr. Jalil that discussed the concept of quality. So Mr. Kolawole, do you mind managing integration quickly?
What do you mean by managing integration, sir? Let me read it.
Yes, read to us, please. Managing integration.
Okay, the same managing integration project is happening in Liverpool. They need to be integrated into it. They need to be integrated with this processing, system and organization.
Beautiful. You know, that statement of projects don't happen in a vacuum is teaching us a key lesson. As a project, you want to ensure that all forms of interaction, collaboration, strengthening, alignment, conformance, compliance, you understand? You need to ensure it is done. That's on one side. That's one way of explaining these points. The other way of explaining this point is that within the project itself, you know, the first explanation I just gave now is about the project and external entities. But now, within the project itself, you want to ensure that the various things, components of the project are able to operate or to be done in a harmonious way. What do I mean by harmonious way? Is that when you're working on a project, you are trying to ensure that the right stakeholders are carried along. At the same time, you are trying to ensure that the right vendors are brought on the project. You are trying to ensure that you are paying the right people. You are trying to ensure that you are managing your scope. You are trying to ensure that you are managing your schedule. You are trying to ensure that, you know, ensure that multiple things in multiple directions. How do you do it in such a way that you don't say, because you are focusing on costs, you forgot to check time? Or because you are focusing on ensuring that you don't go above board in terms of time, you forgot to engage the right stakeholders, the right vendors, or the right conduct your procurement the proper way. Or because you are focusing on procurement, doing your procurement the proper way, you did not do your communication well. So how do you manage the complex interplay of the multiple activities, tasks, processes, and all of this that are going on at the same time. So that's why your core work as a project manager is you are the chief integrator of the project. You are that person on top who is ensuring that water is flowing, blood is flowing, oxygen is entering where it should enter, carbon dioxide is leaving where it should leave, what should move, what should be static. You understand? Not that you see because you are paying attention to the hand, you ignore the leg. Or because you are paying attention to the hand and the leg, you ignore the nose. No. You have to pay attention to what needs to have attention at the right time with the right intensity. Okay, so Mr. Alako, the next point. Is Mr. Alako with us? No, it's not.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, now
I'm
quickly,
here.
just low.
Clearing issues.
No, managing change.
Oh, okay, just came to okay, yeah, managing change. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've read it out. Oh, managing change, a non-optional, complex, and daunting task since projects happen in a dynamic environment.
Oh yeah. You
So please, can I see the last point? Sorry, sir.
Oh yeah.
The last point on the first slide. On the last slide. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Integration. Okay. Go ahead, sir.
You understand that when you carry out a project, your number one mission for carrying out that project is because something is not as desired, and you want to get the project to be able to make it be as desired. So there's some element of change. Not even elements. Project is done to bring about change, and if you are not careful, anything that involves change, especially when dealing with humans, you have to be careful about it. You have to be careful about it, or else it will be rejected, or it will be misunderstood, or many other possibilities that can happen to it. You have to manage change, or else there'll be trouble, or there could be trouble. Then clearing issues. Okay, because of time, let's just read. Let me read. Clearing issues, retaining and using knowledge. That's a very important aspect of project management. Using knowledge. There are two ways. Number one is existing knowledge. You want to leverage on it. Number two is you are leveraging on existing knowledge because some other people manage knowledge to retain knowledge. So as a result of your own activities, you too will have created new knowledge. So part of you doing professional project management is that you want to retain knowledge. You want to create knowledge. You want to document your own, add to the existing knowledge of the organization. So you want to leverage on what is existing. It's foolishness to be doing proud, I did it on my own. I did not use existing knowledge. It's foolishness. Nobody's interested in you bragging. People want results. So if nobody cares, just get results, get it done. So you cannot say, I did it on my own. No, you're doing it on your own again. Your own itself not shows that you have problem. If you can leverage on the existing knowledge, if there's a template, there's a document, leverage on it. Not that you not say, no, you want to do your own. Well, of course, except if you have proof that knowledge is not correct. And the fact that you even have proof that knowledge is not correct, it shows that you are guided. You already know one way in which it's not correct. So documentation is of great benefits when it comes to managing projects. Because don't forget, at the end of the day, a project manager does not like surprises. A project manager wants to imitate some element of godism. as much as possible, you want to have an idea of the future. Because the more you know of the future, the better things will be stable. If you know zero of the future, it means you are entirely helpless. Anything can fall on your head at any time. But to some extent, you have an idea. Okay, this can happen, this can happen. The moment you know that this can happen, anything, then the next thing is, how do I manage it? If it happens, how do I manage it? And whatever way you have used to manage it, document it. So that tomorrow, another project manager is coming. You will pick your own documentation and say, okay, when this happened in 1962, this is how it was done. When it happened in 1967, this is how it was done. When it happened in 2017, this is how it was done. Okay, so if this thing will happen again, based on how it was done in 1962, based on how it was done in 1967, based on how it was done in 2017, this is how I think we will do it if it happens again. So the learning from failure, maximizing resources, controlling costs. So I believe that by now we all have fairly good understanding of what project management actually entails. So project managers are the most creative pros in the world. They have to figure out everything that could go wrong before it goes wrong. I think we should all be able to understand this. Okay. So when things are delivering, if things are fine, you are fine. But if things are not fine, you're in the firing line. Because that's your job. You were brought on board to ensure that things are fine. So if things are not fine, because at the end of the day, don't be surprised to realize that it is only the project manager that would have like a holistic view of the project. Most of the time. Most other people only have some form of partial view. A team member will only have idea of what is happening to him or his own sphere of the job. A project manager will probably, it takes reports from here, from everywhere. Okay, so let's take like 30 seconds. Let's look at this slide. Look at it very, very well. And take some seconds to justify every single one to yourself. Why do you think this is important to a project manager? So I will go around and just pick anyone randomly and ask us to justify. Why do you think motivation skill is important to a project manager? Why do you think communication skill is important to a project manager? Why do you think trust building is important to a project manager? So all of you, go around, read through everything one by one to yourself and try to figure out a reason why you think it is important. Yeah, quickly, we have just 3 minutes for this exercise. Our time starts now. All right. Oh yeah. Who goes first? Mr. Lako, are you there? Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. Negotiation. Justify. Quickly.
Negotiation. Okay, yeah. So negotiation skill. The negotiation skill is very important because, like you rightly pointed out, you've interfacing with a lot of people. It may involve some subcontractors, which you are what contract to them. So you discuss with them, negotiate, and have a landing with them. Then the client, the owner of the project itself, assuming it's a physical project, tangible something. More often than not, you'll be talking about schedule, There's no anywhere in the world, by the time the contractor presents a schedule to the client, more often than not, it will be tackled. So you have to.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
thank you. You want to write a book? Thank you. You don't try. Oh yeah, Mr. Abdjali. Which one? Mr. Abdjali. Influencing.
Okay. Typical of typical of today's leadership and the current Gen Z, Gen Alpha, blah blah blah. You have quite a number of people on your team with diverse.
You are not loud, though.
Can you hear me now, please?
Yes.
So I was saying that on a team, you have people with diverse thinking as well as ways of management, right? So you as a leader or as a project manager, in many cases, you are a leader of the project. You need to be able to influence rather than impose your ideas. And this is very important because people will only do what they buy into rather than what they are asked to do. So you have to, as a project manager, it's a very important skill you must have. Make people do what naturally they wouldn't want to do.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kolawale, are you with us?
Yes, sir. I'm here, sir.
Oh yeah, political and cultural awareness.
Political and cultural awareness. Well, I think political and cultural awareness is a very important skill for the project manager to understand how things are done in Nigeria might be different from how things are done in other parts of the country. And you need to understand the political and cultural awareness, which can influence the people working with you. So it's very, very important as a project manager. You need to understand the culture of your team members. For instance, now the way we do in Nigeria might be different from the way they do it in Spain, in other part of the world. So all these things are very important skills as a project manager to understand, so that it will enable you to, have a very good team that will help you to achieve your goal. Thank you.
You don't explain cultural awareness.
That's what you know.
You don't explain cultural awareness, Oga.
That's what I'm saying. Minimum patrimonial, sir.
What's simple now?
Yes, cultural awareness. I know. I understand. Basically, when you are talking about cultural awareness, I think I've mentioned it. I've also talked about it. Like, what is culture? Cultures are things that are popular from countries and some local government different from the other. Like my town, the way we greet, the way we talk differs. And so eastern part of the country, the way they do things is different as related to their culture. So for instance, let me take the kind of scenario. For instance, in some countries, some people the way they were brought up as part of their culture is that be strong. You must be able to withstand some resistance. So as a project manager, if you don't understand this Swedish culture, you might not be able to flow with them. You might not really function as part of your team. So it's very important to understand their culture. You understand their culture that even the fact that somebody is trying to defeat you, that doesn't mean the person is not respect you as a project manager. But it's part of their culture not to show weakness, not to show their own weaknesses. So that's what I think I understand about the culture.
All right, very much. Yeah. That last point, cultural awareness. Overlook it at your own peril. You say you want to do projects with federal government, you don't understand political awareness. You're on your own, no? You will go matter cement. So this is key. That's key. You will not see any foreign company who want to come into Nigeria or any company that they will not pay an indigenous organization to do market research. Because the truth is, you can know all the English, but if you are disconnected on the context, the local relevance, the indigenous whatever, you'll be in trouble. For example, you want to go and do projects in South, and I did Nigerian Constitution. They go just kill you. You have to meet with the local chiefs. Okay, I've come. Well, how do they do KBS in their own language? Igwe, I'll be waiting. In fact, Alakot, tell us now. Port Harcourt is refined now. I believe you said, do you do Janduku in that place too?
Yeah, marching grand. You have to play marching grand.
Marching grand. Ah.
Yes.
Now it's another terminology. I know here. Well, I used to think that Port Harcourt, is like even Lagos. It's so-called Lagos. In Lagos, you can't just go and say you want to go and start construction. In Ikini, you will pay.
I'm on it everywhere.
Yes, now foundation you will pay, decking you will pay, bow you will pay, roofing you will pay. You're like, I want to This tax to the government. Anyway, the point I'm trying to drive at is that you can know all the big English, all the normal things, but you also need to know the abnormal things. Because you need to know what operates, what works. At the end of the day, do you want to just say book did not work or you did not get it to work? So you need to understand. Of course, we are not saying that we should throw away ethics. Please note, we're not saying that we should just jettison all forms of ethics because you still have to be ethical. But realize that the word ethics, the way it changes from context to context. The same Oyibos who champion ethics, if they come to do business in Nigeria, the way they will do it in their country is different from the way they will do it in Nigeria. And you have seen that from the multiple bribery scandals you see everywhere. From the big names, multinationals. You see them when they come to Nigeria, the way they do business is different. Of course, that might not necessarily be the best way to do things, but just understand what you are up against. That's sort of cultural awareness. They didn't necessarily say cultural conformity, political conformity. They said awareness. So even if you will not do what they do, at least be aware of it and have plans in your risk management on how to handle it, handle matters when they come up. Handle matters when they come up. So that's that. Okay, so Mr. Lako, back to you. Can you explain? What are you looking at? Can you explain what you are looking
at? Okay, so project management process groups. I think the processes involved in the initial stage, then the actual execution of the projects that phase, with some inputs like the planning, the while the execution is ongoing, then the monitoring and control. All this put together will affect the delivery of the project. So the delivery will now be the output, which is the closing process. That's what I understand from the illustration here.
Okay. Before I explain, what is a process? Let's start from there. What is a process? Mr. Lako, what is a process? If you say process, can you do that?
Process. Is the flow of activity, like a logical flow of activity. So that has is being influenced by some other parameters, either internally or externally.
Okay. I usually look at process as a set of coordinated activities towards a particular goal or to achieve something. That's what I see processes as. Now, let me take you round to this principle. If you understand this principle, managing complication will be a lot easier for you. Yeah, Mr. Kolawole, can you read this to us? Is Mr. Kolawole with us?
Sorry, I actually mute my voice. But nothing is particularly hard if you divide it into smaller jobs. I think what they are talking about is cascading, if I'm correct.
It's what?
Cascading. Am I correct? I mean, breaking down some jobs into a very tiny level so that you don't miss the process at all, if I'm correct. Really.
Okay. Nothing is particularly hard if you divide it into small jobs. This is one of the fundamental principles of managing complexity. Nothing is particularly hard if you can divide into small jobs. A lot of people think project management is one thing. They seem to have forgotten that there is no one thing that you could be doing that is called project management. There's no one thing that you'll be doing that is called project management. No. Project management is a collection of multiple things that together, collectively, when you are doing them, it means you are managing the project. There's no one thing that in its entirety, it means you are managing the project. So meaning that when you say you are managing a project, you are not doing one thing, you are trying doing multiple things. And those multiple things come together to form that you are managing the project. Managing a project, if you see it as one thing, it will be very cumbersome and overwhelming. Managing a project, if you see it as just one thing, it will be very cumbersome and overwhelming because you won't even know where to start. You look in one direction, you just see a lot of details. Look in another direction, lots of details. Look in another direction, lots of details. You just be overwhelmed. But the right approach is calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down. Never approach a big thing as a big thing. Always break things down. Never approach a big thing as a big thing. Always break things down. By the time you now break it down, you now approach it from the bits and pieces. And then as you are conquering it bit by bit, you are on your journey towards conquering the whole thing. So project management is one compound, complex, gargantuan thing that is so big, huge, overwhelming, and complicated, interrelated set of activities. If you look at it as just one thing like this, you just faint. Where do I start? Well, calm down. Look at it from the bits and pieces. So the bits and pieces is what we now call processes. This thing is very confusing. It's very simple, but if you don't pay attention, you will get it wrong. These bits and pieces are what we call processes. So a process, a set of activities to achieve something. It's a process. So you now have those bits and pieces that we call process. That tells us that we have multiple processes that we are carrying out throughout a project. Now, a project can be roughly said to be in different life cycle stages. Okay, before I explain, Mr. Kolawole, explain this diagram. Explain it quickly, please. Is Mr. Kolawole with us?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, the diagram is actually talking about two things. Talking about the initiating process and the closing process. Now, if you're talking about the initiating process and the closing process, there's other processes.
Are you sure? Look at it again. No? Are you on a phone? Why you go there? The screen.
Yes, you are talking about program management process group. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and this is talking about. I'm trying to bring it down, like the way the diagram is designed. That is the initiating process, planning process, closing process, executing process. You know, there is this kind of a link between the diagram. Now it's talking about the initiating process. Now you're talking about the monitoring and controlling process. Monitoring and controlling process has to do with the planning process and execution process.
Process you are seeing. Are you seeing process? Is that process you are looking at?
Processes now.
You are saying process.
Oh, sorry. Oh my dear, sir. Oh my dear. So we're talking about initiating processes. We're talking about planning processes. Talking about closing processes and executing processes. And to the best of my knowledge, all these that I mentioned has to do with monitoring and controlling processes. So the initiating process, that's when you want to start a project. The planning process is when you begin to think about, oh, this is what we want to do as selecting of your team members. What are the goals of the organization, the stakeholders that I want to work with, blah, 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 blah. Then you're talking about the execution process, that's when you know, the project actually starts, then you begin to see how you can initiate all this your planning, all the planning that you have at the initial stage of the process. Then the closing process is when you are running up, then probably the opening of the project. That's the tradition of the.
Thank you very much. You have tried, even though there are some small errors here and there. Mr. Lako, please. I'm sure by now you should know, you should see better. Go back to this diagram and explain to me.
Okay, I think the whole project processes classification, I don't know how to put it. Talking about project initiation, the execution, something like that, then close out. So I think this diagram is just trying to portray that.
Wait, your guy.
Life cycle.
Look deeply. Explain the diagram. Look deeply. Read between the lines. Look deeply. Question any diagram. Question any shape. Question any directions. Question anything, and give me clarity.
The initiating processes. I think those are the first set of activities. Since processes is actually a set of activities.
Yes.
That are put together to achieve something. So the initiating processes are the first set of processes that will be carried out.
Okay.
The project and life cycle. So along the line, you have to do some planning. You have to do some actual execution, the physical execution of the project. Then we have to put control and monitoring and control in place. Then at the end of the day, that one will now take you to the closing out process processes of the project.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. There's one key thing that is still missing. You just brushed over it. You didn't give me the kind of detail I want. Mr. Jalil, can you help me? There's just one key thing missing. Let me hear your own explanation.
I think this diagram, to my understanding, talks about the in-process measure, which entails the initiation, the planning, the execution, as well as the closing. However, monitoring and control is more like external processes, which is like the means to an end, what it entails to actually achieve the goal.
Okay. It seems like we are not looking in the direction I want us to look. Thank you very much. Okay, look at it this way. Let me go back to the beginning. What is a process? I said a set of activities towards a particular goal to achieve something. Good. And in carrying out a project, there are tons and tons and tons of processes that you need to carry out. Tons and tons and tons of activities you need to carry out. The processes you do when you're initiating a project are called initiating processes. The processes you do when you're planning the project are called planning processes. Processes you do when you're executing, they are called executing processes. The processes you do when you're monitoring and controlling are called monitoring and controlling processes. The processes you do when you're closing the project are called closing processes. Now, how do these things flow into one another? Of course, we all agree that initiating processes are those things you do at the beginning of the project. And after you initiate, the next thing is that you plan. The key thing that we didn't emphasize there is you did not notice or you did not read meaning to the circular motion between planning and executing. You can see the direction of the arrows. It's not a linear thing to say, okay, when you initiate, then you plan. Then when you plan, then you execute. When you execute, then you monitor and control. When you monitor and control, then you close. Now lie. It doesn't happen like that. Maybe in heaven, yes, but in this world, now lie. Because there is no human being that will be able to plan perfectly. It will never happen. In fact, I think there's an image here that even shows that. See, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Project management is one of those things that look easy until you try it. You think it's easy. Now lie. That vendor that you said will come on Tuesday will not come until Sunday. That team member that was supposed to resume on Monday will not resume until Friday. Sponsor was supposed to send 5 million on the 5th of the month. Now, they not go send out until 12th. Things would always fall out of place. No matter how much you try, no matter how perfectly you try, no matter how much things would always deviate from the what is expected. That is the reason why you cannot plan in one go. Now lie. You always come back to planning, because by the time you move into execution, you realize that there's a difference between what was planned and the reality. That process of checking whether there's a difference between plan and reality is called monitoring and controlling. It's called monitoring. Controlling now is that, okay, now that we have seen that there's a gap between the plan and the reality, oh yeah, what do we do to correct it? That's controlling. Are we following?
Yes. But you can take that again, but we are following.
I said, never ever will your plan be sufficient. It does not happen in this world. You understand? Because we don't know, it's only God that can do that, because he knows the future. We don't know the future, so you'll never be able to predict it accurately. So by the time you have come up with a plan that you think is watertight, oh my God, perfect. By the time you enter the field to start executing, things will never ever go exactly as planned. That's why by the time you realize that there's a gap, then you go back to planning to go and readjust that gap. Then you come back to the field to execute. Then you still notice gaps, go back to planning. And then once you think you have closed the gap, you come back to execute. And you notice another gap, go back to planning. Then you execute, go back to planning. So you'll be in that loop of planning, executing, planning, executing, planning, executing. But as you are going through that loop, it is monitoring that you are doing, that you are monitoring the reality to confirm that it's equal to the plan. And if you realize that it is not equal to the plan, there's a difference, then you could do controlling. Controlling is that, okay, I plan for 15, now I have 12. What do I do? We are controlling. What should we do? Corrective measures, preventive measures. You understand? Those are part of controlling. Controlling is that, okay, oh yeah, you got to see plan, oh yeah, work para see plan. That's controlling. Monitoring is checking, investigating. That's monitoring. So as you are going through planning, executing, you are doing monitoring and controlling. You understand? And then you notice that monitoring and controlling extends a bit to initiating, extends a bit to closing. What that just tells you is that one way or the other, some element of monitoring and controlling is done throughout the course of the project. But the core of monitoring and controlling is in that cycle of planning, executing, planning, executing, planning, executing. So by the time you've been able to complete this properly, such that you have been able to execute properly and things have gone as planned, and then you finish your deliverables and you have achieved your quality metrics, then go ahead and start closing the project. Yeah, Mr. Kolawale, explain this thing to us.
What is that, sir? I'm with you, sir.
Oh, yeah, explain.
It's the same diagram that you've been talking about today, about the initiating process, planning process, placing process, and execution process. And hello.
I said you like hello, using sir? The word.
Sorry. So you've explained it. You've made us understand that the way this stuff is structured, that we shouldn't overlook it, that from initiating processes to placing processes, that planning process and execution process, they have this kind of connection that are very, very important. That's what I've been able to pick from what you are talking about so far, about the diagram.
Okay, Mr. Alako, explain. Thank you.
Okay, so the processes that are involved with the initial the project life cycle, the initiating processes, then from there to planning, the executing, then the closing processes. So now, so all these processes, these 4 key processes are not just straight line, they are not just straightforward like that you close one, then you start the other one. So after the initiating process, you enter the planning. Hello, can you hear me?
Are they 4? You said 4.
Okay, 5, sorry. Okay, so after the initiating process, you're entering the planning process, as well as the execute. As you are planning, then
executing process, is that correct?
Executing processes, planning processes, executing processes. So as you are executing after the planning, so you keep on seeing some as found issues on sites. Keep on seeing some issues that were not captured, maybe during the initiation stage and what have you. So you have to go back again to factor that into your planning, maybe your schedule or what have you, your work breakdown and all those stuff. So as you are doing that, once that has been taken care of, you go back to feed again to carry out the execution. So you'll be seeing some new development based on the fact that there can never be 100% perfection between what was designed and what is to be constructed, using my own field as an example now. So you'll be seeing some field changes and what have you. So you have to always go back to feed your planning processes. So that means the cycle will continues like that. I think that's why this is a bit is circular. So what we now made you to now realize the fact that what we planned is different from what we met on site is actually the fact that you are actually doing monitoring of the project. So you are doing the monitoring. That's why you can see that gap. And once that gap has now been discovered, then you have to look at, okay, how to close it out. So the processes of closing it out is now the control.
Sorry. Don't confuse us. Don't use the word close it out. Don't use another word, please. Close is another word. That technical word that has its own meaning. Don't use close it out.
Okay. Sorry. Nowadays, if we say we close out an issue, so not the general project close out. Okay, so we provide solution to it using our control processes. So monitoring and control is not only limited to this planning and executing these processes. So it has an interface with the initiating processes too, as well as the closing processes. Thank you.
No, don't run away. When do we close? What happens? At what point do we proceed to closing processes?
Okay, so when we realize that, I mean, when we have whatever what we planned has actually been executed, then we can now move on to the closing processes.
Beautiful. Thank you. So these 5 things are called process groups. The initiating process group. A process group is just a group of processes. That's all. Planning process group of processes that are done when you are planning. Executing process group of processes you do when you're executing. And so on and so forth. So this is a way of categorizing the various processes based on the stage. In this case now, there are 5 stages in the life cycle of project. Initiating stage, planning stage, executing stage, monitoring and controlling stage, closing stage. The processes you do at those stages are called, they are grouped by the groups. Now, there's another way of grouping your processes. You can group your processes based on the core knowledge inside that process. What are you doing? That process. So you have 10 knowledge areas. Mr. Jalil, can you read this 10 to us?
Okay. Project integration management.
1.
Project scope management.
2.
Project schedule management.
3.
Project cost management.
4.
Project quality management.
5.
Project resource management. Project communications management. Project risk management.
8.
Project procurement management.
9.
Project stakeholder management.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kolawale, you read the 10 to us quickly. Oh, yeah.
That's project stakeholder management.
No, start from the first one.
Okay. Project execution management.
1.
Project scope management.
2.
Project schedule management.
3.
Project cost management.
4.
Project quality management. Project resource management. Project communication management.
7.
Project risk management. Project procurement management.
9.
And project stakeholder management.
10. Oh yeah, Mr. Lako, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, read the 10 to us.
You've taken it away.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, project risk and no project risk management.
1.
Project cost management. Project integration management.
3.
Project and stakeholders management. Project and procurement management.
5.
Project schedule management. Project resources management.
7.
Project monitoring management. I'm not sure.
Monitoring body management.
I just use my experience actually based on, okay, if I manage a project, what are the interfaces that the people I interface with? I know I interface with planner, I interface with procurement team, I interface with client, I interface with vendors and what have you.
Say one more. Say one more. Pass mark is 8/10.
How many did I mention?
9.
Unfortunately, you won't even remember the ones I've talked about. Anyway, you have tried. We have Mr. Kola, you to do your own. Yeah, Jagbo. Oh yeah, Mr. Kola, over to you.
Next particular lesson.
Me go, never similar. Oh yeah, just try. Oh yeah.
Okay, we talk about project education management,
And
project cost management,
2,
project schedule management,
3.
project monitoring management.
You see, Mr. Lako, you see what you have caused. You see how well.
We talk about project schedule.
I don't have my own.
You don't have your own. Mr. Kola, I've only said 3. Oh.
Someone should help me, please. It's a lot of please help me.
Resources,
Jelly,
stakeholders, procurement.
Project procurement management.
Story
Project
management.
schedule management. Project resources management.
Mr. Kola, relax. Your own score is 3/10. Just calm down. Oh yeah, Mr. Jelly, over to you.
Project integration management, project scope management, project risk management, project quality management,
4,
project resource management,
5,
project stakeholder management. Hello?
I'm here now.
Okay.
If I'm going to accuse you, we will go, sir.
Okay. I'm on number what, sir?
6.
Okay.
All right.
Project resource management. Project procurement management.
Okay.
Project cost management.
You may have forgotten which one you have said before. All right. So here so it's good that you know it.
Yeah.
So which one did you miss out? Like
I miss communication.
Communication.
I miss schedule communication. Yes.
I miss communication. I miss quality.
Project stakeholders management too.
Yes. So now look at this table. I'll give you 3 minutes. Look at this table. What do you see? Tell me what you see. 3 minutes. I look at it. Tell me what you see.
Hello, are we there? Hello, sir.
3 minutes. I'm sure you have done all your analysis. You have mastered it.
No, sir. It's network.
I said I give you 3 minutes for you to look at this thing very, very well. Look at it very, very well. And explain it to me. Tell me what you are looking at.
Able to talk?
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah, explain.
She's trying to tell us the process groups versus knowledge areas.
Okay.
What is expected of the different at different stages, right? Of each of the knowledge areas. So, for example, under scope, and it involves planning. There's nothing you need to initiate under a scope. It's all about planning the scope, collect requirements, define the scope, and create the work breakdown structure. So in planning, there's no execution. It talks about how to validate the scope and control the scope. So it's under monitoring and control. So another example is costs. So you plan your cost management, you estimate the costs, that's under planning. And then with the scope and we define the scope, we're able to define the budgets. So it says what you need to do with cost is to monitor or control the cost so that it's within budgets. And
all
that
right.
applies to other knowledge areas too.
Now, let me ask you this question. What is the difference between process groups and knowledge areas? What's the difference? What's the difference?
Knowledge areas is talking about areas you need to look at. Process group is talking about
areas you need to look. What does that mean? What do you mean by that? I don't understand.
Okay, knowledge areas is saying that things you have to put in consideration means for a project to be successful, what you need to know or what you need to do. You need to manage scope, you need to manage stakeholders, you need to manage costs, risk. Now, process area is telling you of all of this that you need to do is broken down into the responsibility or the actions required at different stages. Where it falls into. Why do you need to be thinking about controlling costs when you have not actually determined the budget? Something like that. So when you're talking about cost, you know that I'm spending 10 naira. So now, at what point will you determine 10 naira? That's the planning. Now, at the end of the project, or what you need to do with costs is, okay, are we within, which is monitoring and control. Something like that.
Okay, thank you very much. I will comment, but let me hear from Mr. Kolawole first. Hello, Mr. Kolawole. Mr. Kolawole ti wọ́n ti wọ recess o. Mr. Alako, ṣé wọ́n ti lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni?
Àwọn sì wà ń bí, iná wa ń lọ ń bí.
Ó yá tẹ́lẹ̀ rí mẹ́rin.
Okay, so this is just I see it as there are two different methodologies of dividing, of splitting project. Should I say life cycle now? So one is based on the time frame or the actual execution of those projects. I mean the phases based on the timeline of the project, so which is these processes. Then the other one is looking at the holistic project as a whole, like the team. So I mean, from there, the team can easily be selected. Okay, who are those that be in charge of integration, that be in charge of scope definition, scheduling, cost, quality, like that, the case may be. So the area of knowledge, the knowledge area, is like further dividing the project life cycle and the project entity into a more broader classifications, more than just the phases of the project based on the timeline for the execution, I mean for the delivery of the project, which is what processes actually emphasizes. Nonetheless, the two of them can be categorized. I mean, the two of them can be integrated together. The two classification methodologies can actually be integrated together to now give a further breakdown of the project delivery. That is what I understand from here. Thank you, sir.
Let me give you a very beautiful example. Thank you very much. Mr. Lako, don't run away. Wait. Calm down. Don't run. You have an engineering degree. Now, let us assume that you have, how many years did you spend in school now? Minus, normally, if not for ASU and federal government, how many years?
5.
Good. Now, if let's say in total, in your 5 years, let's say you did 100 courses in the university, 100 courses, or let me make it simpler. Did 49 courses in the university. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Good. Your 100 courses, did you do all the 100 in 100 level? No, sorry, all the 49 courses. Did you do all the 49 courses in 100 level?
Not at all.
Good. Some of them you do it in 100 level. Some of them you do it in 200 level. Some of them you do it in 300 level. Some 400, some 500. Beautiful.
Correct.
So meaning that you can decide to categorize your 49 courses according to the year or the level in which you do them, right?
Correct.
But now listen again. The courses you did in school, if I'm not mistaken, they are supposed to belong to different subjects, right?
That is correct.
Subjects like what? Yeah, now.
Okay, like GNS.
Okay.
Like strength of material. Like fluid.
Those are specific courses. I asked for subjects, not courses.
Okay, subjects. Okay, you can say physics, chemistry, the normal level courses and subjects.
Which other one?
Mathematics.
Mathematics. What else?
I've mentioned 4. GNS, physics, chemistry, mathematics.
Yes, physics, chemistry, mathematics. I understand. I understand. Let's just assume that those are the 4.
Yeah.
Let's just say, let's assume there are 10.
Yes,
all
10.
You did in the university, they belong to 10 subjects. You know that it is possible that in 100 level, it's possible that you will do 4 courses under mathematics. 200 level, you will do only 1. And then for the rest, you will not do mathematics again. Abi? No be so?
Yes.
Bigbo?
Yes, that's correct.
It's possible that in 100 level, you might not even do a particular course at all. You will start that course in 300 level.
Yes, true.
That's the table you are looking at here. The knowledge, the process groups are like levels, stages. 100 level, 200 level, 300 level, 500 level. The knowledge areas are like 4 subjects. So all processes about scope management. How many are they? Mr. Lako, how many processes do we have for scope management?
2.
2. Are you correct? Who knows the right answer?
Okay, maybe take the question again. Is there how many processes?
Yes, for scope management.
Do we have for scope? We have 2, under planning and monitoring and control. I don't get you right.
Okay, who has a different answer? Put it that way. Hello. Other people in class now?
Yes, sir, we are here. But
Can I answer the question now?
I think it's one,
Okay.
because executing and monitoring control, broadly they are intertwined. So for scope, planning is the only process that is required for scope.
Mr. Abdul, answer that question. I have 2. I have 1. Let me hear your own. Maybe your own will be 5 million.
I was just one. I was one that just finished speaking.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Kolawole is unmuted.
yes,
So
sir.
you just enter the session. I think he good like that.
Sorry, it's network. So I've been trying to manage the network in my area.
Okay.
So the question again, sir, you said you're talking about the process area. What are you talking about, sir?
You've not been with us. Mr. Paul, why now? You are fumbling. How many processes are under scope management? If you know, sir.
4. It's 4.
Eh?
4.
4. I be 1.
Yes. Under scope management.
Yes.
It's under scope management. That is 1. That is monitoring and control process. Another control process we have 4. Has to do with the initiative process, the execution process, the planning and the execution process, and the closing process.
And the bush, Joe, come back to Express. Mr. Lako, yeah, now the answer is 6.
Okay, so planning we have 4, right? Under planning we have 4. The under monitoring and control we have 2.
So wait, why did you not get that? Why? Huh?
Okay, it's clear now, it's clear. Maybe the way you framed the question.
The question was
processes are under scope management.
Yes, no. You said how many processes are under scope management? Okay, my understanding is scope management is a knowledge area. So process area is saying it's planning and monitoring and control.
Monitoring and control. Yeah.
We didn't say activities.
So that's why I said
require, and you did not say, if the question had read how many processes are required for scope management.
Required. Don't go into that direction at all. Are required. Don't say that. I said how many are under scope management. It's just like him now, Mr. Alako. In your engineering degree, how many mass courses did you do? In 100 level, you did 3. 200 level, you did 2. 300 level, you did 1. 4, 0, 5, 0. So how many mass courses did you do? You got 100 level, Meloni, 3. 200 level, 2. 3 level, 1. 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 6, making 6. You understand?
Yeah, very well. It's clear now.
How many mass courses did you do in 100 level? I did not tell you how many scope management processes are done in planning. If that's what I said, then the answer would have been 4. I said, how many scope management processes? How many processes do you have under scope management? So you count the number of scope management processes across the process groups. Anyway, the most important thing here is for you to understand the interplay between process groups and knowledge areas. Now we have just 1 minute left. I can see that we are tired, but you answer that my one question. Hello, my baby, I'm down, Mr. Kolawole, yeah, I have upper cut for you. Are you ready for me? I have uppercut for you, for me.
I'm not ready, sir. Sorry, sir. Let me hear you, sir. I have my colleagues are well paid.
Now, my question for you is that how many processes are on this screen? That's not my question. That's my initial sub question.
Hey,
You form Buja.
processes. Is that your question? Let me hear you again, sir.
Yeah, how many processes are on this screen? How many processes are on this slide?
We have 6.
Eh?
Yes. We have 6. Initiating, planning, execution, the closing and the maintenance and control. Management and control. No, sir.
No, you miss it. Oh yeah, Mr. Lako, how many processes are on this screen?
Okay, so we have to count them one by one. This thing plenty. Under integration, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Under scope, we have 6. 7 plus 6. Is that correct?
Again, I didn't hear you.
So no, I'm just saying that under integration now we have like 7. Under scope we have 6. So then schedule correct. Yeah. Is that correct?
Don't ask me for area of concentration. Answer my question.
So we have to count all these bulleted this thing bulleted points.
Answer
So just to show that I have an idea, is it correct? Is that what you're asking?
Very process, very journey, answer, results. What's the answer?
I think I know Romelu.
Oh yeah.
Okay, 7 plus 6 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 6. 7 plus 6 plus 6. 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 4. 1, 2, 3 plus 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 6. Bomodino, that way is 1, 2, 3 plus 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 8. 1, 2, 3 plus 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 4. 13, 19, 23, 26, 30, 33, 41. 41 plus 3. 44. 48.
Okay, you're not correct. It's 49 anyway.
Okay. That make way more music on it. I did it. Okay.
So what that means is that according to PMI, PMBOK 6, when you say I am managing a project, it means you are doing one or all of these things. As in, at that time, if you are managing a project, you are doing something related to any of this. That's what it means to say you are managing a project. Do we understand that?
So these 49 are called for processes, Abi?
You say what?
So the 49, they are called processes.
Correct.
Project management processes.
Correct.
Okay, so how do we differentiate between that and these 5 major headings? Projects, the slide 30, that 33. Okay, that is groups, project management groups, right? This initiating, planning, executing, then closing.
Can't you see them on top here? Can't you see them here on top here?
Yes.
There are
Okay.
49 processes grouped in 2 different ways. If you group them according to stage, you have 5.
Yes.
If you group them according to the core nature of the process itself, you have 10. If you group them according to the stage of the project, you have 5. Initiating, planning, executing, major controlling, closing. But if you group them according to the knowledge areas, you have 10 classifications. Mr. Abdul, I have a question for you. And that will be my last question for today, inshallah. We're out of time.
Okay, sir.
How many processes did you say we have? Yeah, now, guy. I'm very young. You have what?
6, sir.
Huh. Hey. Where did you get that one from?
49.
Eh?
49, sir. 49.
Should I follow 6 or I should follow 49? How
Follow
many
49, sir?
49, Abi?
Yes, sir.
Good. Those 49, do you know them?
Do I know them? I can read from the screen, sir.
So you know them, right?
Yes, yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
You are sure?
Very sure, sir.
Mr. Abdul is sure. Hey! Not sure by it. We're sure for you. Okay. I will now ask you another question. Are you ready for my question, Mr. Abdul?
Yes, sir.
Okay. My question for you now is that, do we need all these 49 all the time? That is, are these 49, must they be compulsorily found in every project?
Yes, sir.
Explain, justify.
Because this 49 are broadly classified into 9 knowledge areas.
9 Nigeria. Oh, guy, why
10,
now?
sir. Sorry, 10. 10 knowledge areas, apology. So, and every project go through these 10 knowledge areas. That's why.
Okay, I'm listening.
Some of these processes can be combined depending on the size of the project. But you will need these 10 knowledge areas at some point or the other.
I did not ask you about processes.
Sir?
I asked you about processes. Do we need these 49 processes all the time?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Mr. Lako, I want you to answer that question too. Do you have a contrary opinion?
Yes, we don't need all of this all the time.
Explain, justify, elucidate, clarify.
Some projects are just too small to deploy all these processes, which by extension resources. as the case may be. For big projects, yes, may be justified and depending on the terrain where it's being executed. Just using my own as a case study, as an example. So there are different complex projects that I've managed that the level of what is required from clients, from other stakeholders is varies based on the complexity of the project. So I don't think the whole 49 processes are required on every project. Not at all. Thank you.
Are you guessing or is sure for you?
I'm sure.
Mr. Abdul, are you infected by his confidence or you have contrary opinion? Mr. Abdul, are you there? Hello? Hello, Mr. Abdul. Mr. Kolawale, are you with us?
I'm with you, sir. I'm with you, sir.
Okay. Mr. Abdul, you just...
You, sir.
I asked the question, you have not answered me.
Come again, sir.
Did you hear Mr. Lako's explanation? Anyway, we are just taking a lot of our time. We are out of time already.
Sir?
I say we're out of time already. Anyway, I think
I missed the question.
The point has been made. Mr. Lako, can you explain this slide? Quickly, please.
Explain or read out.
All of the above.
Okay. Tailoring. The same tailoring that we know of here.
Ben, you know.
Okay. The appropriate project management processes, input tools, techniques, output, and life cycle phases should be selected to manage a project. Keyword there, the appropriate project management processes, input tools, techniques, output, and life cycle phases should be selected to manage a project. This is necessary because each project is unique and might not need every process. Tool, okay, tool, etc. to be discussed.
I think that answers the question.
Yeah, that buttresses my point. I mean, my view.
Let me mention here. In my explanation, I said that broadly, we would need every process. However, depending on the size of the project you are dealing with, some of these processes can be merged together.
Okay.
That was
that what itself is controversial. Because there are certain instances in which you will not even use it at all. Let me ask you another context, another funny question. Would you always conduct procurement in every project? Mr. Abdul.
Yes and no.
You have come with your philosophical answers.
No. Not always. Not always.
Exactly. So in the whole of that knowledge area, you can go in some instances. But I agree with you that other than that, there's hardly any other one that you can say you can skip as a whole knowledge area. But as specific processes, there are instances in which some of these things might not be necessary, especially depending on the complexity, size, risk involved, what is at stake of the projects. You understand? So at this point, we have come to the end of today's class. I know Mr. Kolawale is so exhausted. Maybe this is a long time since he has sat down for 4 hours and doing one thing.
No, I'm not. I'm enjoying the class.
You that you have energy has just gone low. Just like Mr. Abdel, gone low.
Yeah.
Hey, don't tempt me. Oh. I'll just take another 2 extra hours.
The energy is high.
Hey.
Yes, I suppose it as well. Whether it's
Is
Mora, hi.
Mora, hi.
So, thank you very much. See you again by 1:30 tomorrow. All of what we have been doing before now has been introduction to the introduction of the introduction. Then we did introduction to the introduction. Now we have done. Now tomorrow we will now do real introduction. All what you are doing today is just to set the foundation to stand on. So tomorrow we start standing. Tomorrow we start the main class proper. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. The recordings will be put.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
So I don't know, are there any, maybe this is the right time to ask, will there be resources for reading?
Yes,
deployed
maybe
to
like a
us.
slide. Maybe like a slide that we can follow up while we're in class or something.
Yes, that will be shared after the class.
Okay, sir.
All right. Thank you very much.
Now, good day.
Thank you.